Welcome to Gene's Place at Town Hall Theater. I am Zach Shivers, the box office manager, and you are watching a very special summer edition of the Box Office Dispatch. This August is the 12th annual Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival, August 26th through 30th. It's a banner year. There are some really big names attached, but I want to start by talking to these two people. I have the incredible honor of welcoming Lloyd Komesar. Lloyd Komesar spent 25 years as a distribution exec at Disney, and he started a film festival here in Middlebury with Jay Craven in 2014.
Yes, that's when we had an article published in the Addy Indy saying that we were going to start a film festival. Everyone ignored that article, but that was the actual seminal date was June of 2014.
June of 2014. And five-time Emmy Award-winning filmmaker Anaïs Mitchell, who as of June is the managing producer of the festival. So thank you so much for joining. We got a lot to talk about.
Welcome.
So Andy, you're in observation mode. You're not thinking about how you want to change anything yet. So, but you have been an attendee of the festival for many years.
Yes.
What do you think is the soul of this festival? What is that thing at the heart of it that made you want to come aboard?
It's one of the best small festivals, I think, in the country. It's a festival that celebrates Vermont, it celebrates film, it celebrates filmmakers, and the beauty of it is it celebrates new filmmakers. So first or second time directors get a chance and a platform that's pretty rare these days to get their voice heard. So that's one of the most remarkable things about this festival, and I think it's really what differentiates it from other small festivals like it. Not to mention the beautiful locale and the really engaging community, you know? I think people have a good time when they come.
Lloyd, why new filmmakers? When you could have made a festival about anything, there was no real festival in this region before. Why'd you choose new filmmakers specifically?
Well, my experience at film festivals prior to starting this festival here was that they get short shrift all the time. It would be typical to go to a festival and see a new film with a modest budget playing opposite a film with a $40 million budget. So we've got the sense that new filmmakers don't have a level playing field at most film festivals. They just simply don't. Most first and second time filmmakers, they're on the cusp of something, and they really could benefit by being in a festival where everybody's kind of on, as I said, one plane. The competition is not between a small film and a gigantic film. It's really just all about their work at a particular time in their life.
One thing that I feel has been very smart about the way that you've programmed the festival is that even though it is a festival that is dedicated specifically to new filmmakers, you also each year have a set of honorees. These are established filmmakers with an incredible body of work. Who are this year's honorees?
We've almost topped ourselves all time by having Jane Fonda come this year.
Right.
This is exclusively due to Jay Craven's relationship with Jane, which goes back to about 1970, because they were in the anti-war movement together. But even Jane, when she comes here, I think now what we are hearing, she would like to see other films, new filmmaker films. So you asked specifically who's coming. Let me start with Allyn Stewart, who is an established producer, member of PGA Producers Guild. She's going to bring us two films. One is Sully, which was a Clint Eastwood directed film starring Tom Hanks. This is a big budget film. Her take on this, we hope, will be to sort of explain how it all came together and sort of how do you herd the cats when you're doing something that has big stakes, like a film that's historical, based completely on a true story, and has like a Clint Eastwood attached to it. This is important, I think, for people to understand what is the producer's role, even with big films. And isn't it quite like small films? We can move on to a cinematographer who is so highly valued in the world of independent filmmaking, particularly documentaries, that her name is well known. And when we made that announcement, a lot of people came to us and said, "Oh, you got KJ," they call her KJ, "you got KJ." Yes, we did, but we wanted her to come because not only is she a cinematographer, but a director as well. And she has attached herself to so many projects, several of which are here this year. So we just feel like she has a lot to talk to our filmmakers about her craft, her excellence in that craft. Two more of note, Mason Daring, who is a film composer, like legendary film composer, who's done, I think he's over 85 scores for feature films over his career. And in addition, he's also a musician of note. And we're going to show a film, basically a biographical film about him and a woman named Jeannie Stahl. And they performed together for many years. In fact, their relationship goes back 50 years. And they're going to be here at Town Hall Theater. We're going to show the film called Marblehead Morning. And then they're going to do a 3-song mini concert right afterwards, just sort of a little reunion show, which should be quite nostalgic and lovely. So Mason's going to do a master class on film composing because it's quite an art form. And finally, we have Ross McElwee, who I think probably would be termed legendary personal documentarian, where he's not only observationally really smart, but he takes a lot of his own personal life and weaves it into these stories that he tells. So he'll be here. He's going to show 2 films, Sherman's March and Remake. So those are 4.
So, Andy, as a current working filmmaker, when you're looking at taking over a festival, is there anything that you've experienced as an attendee, as a filmmaker at a film festival, that went particularly badly or particularly well that you want to bring or avoid here in Middlebury?
Well, Lloyd's always drawn a really good balance between keeping it down home Vermont, but also bringing in Oliver Stone and, Jane Fonda and Hollywood. So it's this blending of worlds that I think is really what's so special about this place, which is pretty unique, I think.
It's 5 years from now. You come check on the festival. What's the thing that Andy changes that upsets you the most? What's over this year, like what's the soul of the festival that after all these years, that if someone were to come in and change, you would be like, you destroyed my baby?
Can I defer on that question?
Oh, really?
I mean, you're talking about 5 years from now. I'd like to be living 5 years from now. That'd be helpful.
As long as you're alive, you're happy.
Exactly. B, you can't go to film without having your eyeballs roll back in your head. So what we try to do is essentially cut into all of this opportunities to relax, to enjoy, to eat, to drink, to sing if you want, and just to come away with, wow, it was a great day. I loved all of it. If I might say, maintaining that as we go forward is good. Andy knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I have one change I want to bring back.
Okay.
I want to bring back the Lloyd Komesar Award this year. That's for sure.
Oh, you're going to bring back the Lloyd Komesar Award?
Yes.
Wow, and that's going to happen this year?
I wanted to.
We're going to try.
We're going to try. And what's the award for? People, like, who gets it? What's the...
Overall awesomeness.
No.
Okay, so just to
basically, it's sort of dedication to community and culture.
Dedication to community. Okay.
And culture.
12 years ago, you came to this town, relatively unknown, and built a flagship festival from scratch. For the next person who comes to our town with a big vision, what advice do you have for them? How do you pull something like this off?
Imagine it as a 3-legged stool. The 3 legs we had were the newspaper, the college, and Town Hall Theater. Understand always that it's not one way. If you're going to ask for something, you have to give something. And it just turned out that this town was ready for a film festival because it has so much cultural depth, way greater than anybody would expect for a town of, at that point, 7,500 people. So we were just building on to something that was already here, and I was able to identify the right people to approach and build it out.
Excellent.
I would also mention real quick, we've got a couple of special guests and returning honorees. One is Amy Goodman, who is well known for her sort of amazing show called Democracy Now!, which has been distributed for decades. She is an extremely progressive journalist and a risk-taking journalist, and she has a film that was made about her called Steal This Story, Please. And it is playing around Vermont. She has some Vermont roots. Her brother David Goodman lives here in the state. So Amy's going to be here, and we're looking forward to screening that one. Bianca Stone, the poet laureate of Vermont, will be back. She's going to be doing a sort of a talk about a film called Mary Oliver. So Mary Oliver, I guess, is a very well-known poet herself. So Bianca will screen that film, and she'll talk about Mary Oliver. Oh, well, let's talk about Anaïs Mitchell. Yes, we are going to honor Anaïs Mitchell for her incredible work nurturing and creating Hadestown. Of course, I think people do know that she was raised here, went to Mount Abraham High School and graduated from Middlebury College. And it wasn't an easy path to launch Hadestown, but now it's like a smash hit. So we're going to show Hadestown, the musical, which is the film capture of the stage play with the original 5 cast members. And I think people are going to be quite thrilled and delighted by this. So we're going to honor her as well. So I don't know. It's impressive because we have a very sort of diverse range of guests this year, honorees and special guests and returning honorees.
Andy, anything else you want to say?
The fun factor is huge this year.
Yeah.
And there's art and sports and architecture and music. And then also, a bunch of serious, heavy-hitting movies that are dealing with very real issues, which, is kind of the core of the small film festival. But I think there's plenty of joy as well.
Well, it's a great place to end. Thank you both so much for joining me. midfilmfest.org. That's where you can buy your passes if you have not done so already. And thanks again.
You're welcome.
Right, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Now can I storm off?
Now you can storm off.
All right. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah.